Oh, good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob. I have a special surprise for you and a very special guest. But before we get to the guest, I want to show you a clip, and that'll give you an idea of my guest.
Would always win.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town.
From Coney Island to the Sunset Strip, somebody's gonna make a happy trip tonight while the moon is bright.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. He's making a list, he's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice.
Trim the tree and wrap the presents, turn the Christmas music on. This Christmas I'll be home with bells on.
Hold my hand and I'll take you there someday, somewhere. May the good Lord be with you.
All right, now, folks, you got an idea of my guest, Anthony Edwards, one of the famous Edwards twins. Anthony, nice to see you.
Thank you for having me. It is such a pleasure.
It was great to see you. First, I got to tell you, I love that shirt.
Well,
I
thank you.
absolutely love that shirt.
Thank you. As we were talking earlier, my brother and I, we did a show in Singapore.
Right.
And we had these made in Singapore. We had these plus a whole bunch. And what we do is we go shopping
Right.
in the certain district that they have there. We pick out the material and then we bring it to a tailor,
Right.
and they end up doing the shirts. And the tailoring over there is amazing.
Well, let me tell you something. Not to be outdone.
Yes.
This suit was made in Thailand.
Oh, it was. Oh my God. Okay.
And look at the
oh my gosh,
lining. Look at
amazing.
the stitching.
Wow. They
Inside the
just-
suit.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. That is, very well made. Very, very well made.
I had
And
two
it's-
suits made, like you said. You
Yes.
pick out the material.
Yep.
This is cashmere, wool cashmere.
Okay, yes.
Italian wool cashmere, they call it, I guess.
Sure.
But you could pick out any kind of material you wanted to.
Unbelievable. Yeah, we decided to go with bright colors and and all that stuff, and usually most tailors don't like working with this type of material. It's very
Oh,
very
no, it's hard. It's difficult,
Very
yeah.
But over there, I even got some sequin stuff made.
Wow.
Which is extremely difficult
Right.
to work with.
Like silk, same
Right.
thing.
And most tailors, they'll look at the material and go, you know what,
No.
I'm not doing that. But amazing. And it was a little difficult finding someone that would work with sequins. So, yeah, so absolutely. Well, again, thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. Now, you and your brother have been entertaining for how long?
Well, we are in our 35th year.
Wow.
And we actually, let's see here. We're actually up to doing anywhere from 200 to 300 shows a year now.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's a lot of work, but we love it so much, and the ability and the blessing of bringing our talent to people
Right.
is why we keep doing it.
It's amazing. Now, let's backtrack, though.
Yeah, sure.
How did you start? Your
Well,
two brothers.
yes, yeah.
Born where?
Well, we were born in Burbank, California.
Okay.
Right next to the famous NBC studios.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I knew you were going to say
And
that.
at
I
the-
was on that show, by the way.
With Johnny?
Jay Leno. No,
Oh,
no,
with Jay.
Johnny Carson's my
sure.
hero. He was the
Exactly.
best ever.
Yes.
He was my idol.
Yes, yeah, and incidentally, we'll talk about Jay because Jay's a very good friend of ours. But we were, a matter of fact, the same night that we were born, Joan Rivers was making her debut on The Tonight Show. Yeah. Yeah.
I did a show with Joan Rivers at the Warwick Musical Theater.
Yeah, I know it well. Yes.
Oh my
yes,
God.
Exactly. And so, so we grew up in Burbank, California. A lot of the people in the industry lived right
Oh, the
in
collector,
our,
of
our
course.
neighborhood. The writers of all the shows.
Right.
You know, Sonny and Cher, Carol Burnett. You know, from both CBS and NBC,
Right.
ABC.
Came later.
Right.
They were like
yes. Right.
the orphan twin or something.
Yeah,
Or
you know, it was such a great time there because, you know, we didn't know any different. They were regular people to us, you know,
Right,
yet
right.
they were celebrities. And when we got older, our Uncle Jack worked for George Slaughter. Now, George Slaughter was the producer that produced the Sonny and Cher show, Laugh-In, and all of the great variety shows of the 60s and 70s, and also, you know, into the 80s. And we would literally hang out at the studios and
Wow,
be
what a
able
treat
to,
that
oh
had to
my
be.
gosh, when I tell you, all the people we met and all the advice that we got
Sure.
at that age.
Yep.
You know, on how to conduct yourself.
Now, how
you know.
old were you when you
Oh
started
my God!
all
Well,
this?
we started going to the studios when we were about 6.
Holy cow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the thing is, we were latchkey kids, you know, and so we would stay with Jack. You know, our folks were separated,
Yeah.
and our mother had to work, so we would hang out with our Uncle Jack on the studios lots, and we would stay with him after school, and we had to
wow.
be very well behaved.
Yes.
You know, but what we saw was just absolutely phenomenal. You know, and
I can't even imagine the people you met.
oh my gosh. Well, again, back then we didn't realize
They were nothing.
Yeah,
You didn't
they
think-
were.
yeah, they were regular
exactly,
people.
Right, exactly. And I do remember. I have just tons of stories, but I do remember meeting Vincent Price. And when I tell you, what a wonderful man.
Really?
I mean, he was so tall. And
Scary though.
right.
To everybody
Yes,
else
yes,
in the
exactly,
movies,
yeah.
he was scary.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, the most kindest, gentlest, wonderful person. And I remember going up and asking for his autograph, and he was just so nice. But back then, I was a little shocked because we would frequent we would frequent a lot of the game shows, a lot of the sitcoms at that time. And I remember one memory where we were at the very last taping of the Hollywood Squares with Peter Marshall.
Wow.
And we met all the stars that were there
Who
that
was the
night.
guy that had the weird voice there? You said the center. Usually
Well, Paul Lynn?
Paul
Yes, exactly, yes, right, yeah. And at that time, I don't think Paul was the center square. There was somebody else that was in this center square. I know George Goebel.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
And Leslie Uggams, Chad, something from Marcus Welby, Tom Poston was there.
Yeah.
And,
he's the guy from Mr. Ed, wasn't he?
well, he did the Newhart show.
Oh, that's who-
yes,
oh, that's
exactly
who it is.
right.
I'm mixing-
exactly.
I'm mixing them up, yeah.
Yeah, and so, anyways, but you know, it was just memories like those that just really honed us on what we're doing for living now.
Right.
You know, and being able to learn the old-fashioned etiquette. You know. So anyway, so we were, all set with, going ahead and doing that. Then we just had an uncanny ability to mimic people and to be able to do voices. And it scared the crap out of my mother. My mother thought we were
sure.
possessed, because we had all these voices, coming out,
Right. And both of you doing it.
Right, exactly, yes. And, and Eddie, even though we have the same voices, he has the higher voice.
Right.
So the
he
thing is,
can do-
so he was able to do the women.
Right, right,
And and he started out doing Ernestine Tomlin, and we would redo the skits from the Carol Burnett show. Mamas and Eunice and all that stuff. So anyway, so that's how it got started. Well, later on in life, we got fascinated with makeup. So we, in high school, okay, I learned the technique of 3D makeup back then.
Now, where'd you go to high school? California?
Actually,
Burbank?
at that point, we had moved to live with our father in Tucson, Arizona.
Oh.
And it was really a great thing because he really nurtured us and paid for acting lessons, singing lessons, piano lessons, and being able to, really take as many lessons as we could, because we knew at a very early age what we were put on this earth to do. So we when we were in high school, we didn't do sports. It was all arts, and it was just really, it was out of school and bam, we were.
Right.
And I was very blessed because I was always taught by the celebrities, if you want something in life, you got to go for it.
Right.
So at the age of 15, I went around to all the restaurants, and I said, how would you like to have a singer in your restaurant? Well, it just...
At 15?
At 15 years old, where I would sing all the Broadway hits and, the hits of the 70s. And my piano player was a student at the University of Arizona. Oh. And we became the best of friends. And he literally taught me how to play piano. He was a concert pianist. And he had studied with some of the best classical pianists in the world. And after school, there were times, especially in the summertime, I would practice 12 hours a day at the University of Arizona to learn piano.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, we took this very, very seriously. I mean, we lived and breathed this. And then...
but it's paid off.
Right. Yes, it has. Yeah. And my brother got into makeup. He got into, designing, wigs and costuming at a very early age. And then he graduated, my brother graduated a year earlier than I did. He wanted to get out and get to Hollywood and start making it. And so it wasn't, less than a year that he was hired by La Cage aux Folles, the famous La Cage aux Folles, to start doing shows.
Wow.
And so he did that and, was very, very successful, and then brought me into it,
yep.
Eventually. But before that, I was in California studying at one of the finest art colleges after I got out of high school, at a place called Cal Arts, where I studied voice and piano. And then I went to go live with my father in San Diego, and I went into the police academy.
Wow.
To become a police officer.
Yeah.
And to be able to study law, and which I loved. I mean, I just found it fascinating. Right. I graduated with honors from the police academy. Only half of our academy made it. Right. Yeah. They're very, very difficult. And then, the week that I graduated, I was just about ready to get sworn in, and my brother said they're opening up a show in Toronto, and they want you. Toronto is the best.
Love that city.
It's the absolute best. I mean the memories, is just great. And so, I did not get sworn in, and I decided to go to Toronto just to give it, and never look back. I met Carol Burnett there.
Oh, wow.
She came to see us. And Carol was the one who got our act started.
No kidding.
Carol Burnett. Because she went to go see, she saw me in Toronto, and then 2 weeks later, after because she was there filming a movie with her daughter, she had went ahead and she went into the La Cage dinner club that Eddie was working at in LA, and saw him.
And she must have thought you were seeing double.
Yes.
Said, what are you doing here?
Yes, exactly. I just saw you in Toronto. It's like, no, Carol, that's my twin brother, Anthony. It's like, oh my God, there's two of you? She said, what are you doing apart? She said, you need to go ahead and put your act together. She said, a pair of identical twins who look and sound like stars. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
This is something that people would absolutely go nuts over.
Yep.
So, and at that time, she was just coming back with Carol and Company, which
yeah.
was the takeoff of the Carol Burnett show.
Right.
And she asked Eddie to be in the opening episode, the pilot
No
episode.
kidding, yeah.
Yep, exactly. And it was really, really interesting because she had hired him to do Bette Midler, and what it was, it was a casting call. The skit was
skit.
A casting call where they had all these different lookalikes.
Sure.
And the thing is, and the casting director's like, oh my God, Bette Midler, yes, you are absolutely fine. Oh my, Arnold Schwarzenegger, oh my God, you look exactly like. And Carol comes in, and the casting director's like, and who the heck are you supposed to be? She said, I'm Carol Burnett. And the guy said,
No,
not even close.
No.
Get her out.
That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
So it was. So Carol was really the one that basically,
Got you started.
started it all for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was your first act after that? When you joined together?
When we joined together, our very first show was in Vegas.
Wow.
There was a small club that it's not there anymore, and we performed New Year's Eve, and we took Vegas by storm. We were the talk of Vegas, so much so that a couple weeks after we had done the show, we had started a tour. And it started out in Arizona, then it went to Texas, then it went to Alabama, and it just
Right.
just skyrocketed. And
This would have been what year?
oh gosh, early 90s, early 90s, yeah. And there was a gentleman that was a very influential person by the name of Mario Ciroli. Now, Mario Ciroli opened up, he owned all of the Chateau de Villes, which
Wow.
I'm
There
sure
was- there was
yes,
one here.
Yeah,
There was one in Warwick.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he would bring in all the stars to all of his places, and he took us under his wing
Right.
and taught us the business of producing and publicizing and everything for being able to promote our show. And he
Right.
promoted
The business
our show.
end of it.
Right, absolutely. Which a lot of people don't know.
Right,
They
right.
know about the show, but they don't know about the business.
Right.
And I see, I meet so many people, in a week's time. And when I talk to them, they're so talented. They have more talent than than I can even begin to even fathom.
Right.
And these are people that should be superstars. But the problem is they know nothing about business.
right.
Nothing at all. And so they don't know how to promote themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And, and there's so many I would love to be able to promote. I just don't have the time. I mean, at 200 to 300 shows, a year.
Yeah.
I'm.
You got to sleep too.
Yeah, right. Thank
And
you.
you got to
Exactly.
rest.
Yeah, a
You gotta
little
rest.
bit.
Yeah. Well, it's ironic. That's how I started this show.
Wow.
30 years ago.
Okay.
Just about 30 years ago.
Wow.
Was to promote Rhode Islanders and New Englanders. That
gosh, yeah.
Because I go back to the Ted Mack Amateur Hour, the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yes. Oh,
and
sure.
We never had anything like that in Rhode Island
yes.
or Southern New England to promote talent.
Sure.
Whether it be singing, dancing,
Yes.
art, whatever it is.
Yeah, sure.
So I started the show for that express purpose, to give them a venue to showcase what they had.
Wow. A matter of fact, I'll tell you who's probably been on this show that Eddie has been hanging out with in Vegas is Chris Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. So the thing is, Chris Jason started in Rhode Island.
Yep.
And, does Frank. And a matter of fact, it's very interesting. A lot of Rhode Islanders now are performing on the Las Vegas Strip.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So,
got the other guy that does Vegas.
yeah, the one who does Frank. That.
Yes, yes.
Oh my gosh, what? Anyways, I'm having a senior win. It'll
His name's
come.
sticking on my tongue.
It'll come to me.
And the
He works for Legends in Concert. I know exactly who you're
Yep.
talking about.
And the other guy that does Dean Martin, he's been on my
Tony
show.
Palumbo, or I mean,
Palumbo,
Steve
Palumbo.
Palumbo, yes.
I knew him since he's a kid.
Oh my God! And Michael Dutra is
That's what I was thinking
a
of.
very good
That's what I
friend.
was thinking
Yeah.
of.
Oh, Michael! My gosh! To me, I mean, Michael's voice for Sinatra, unbelievable.
Yep.
You know, love him dearly. So, so basically, you know, we started on the road, and Mario helped us, and Mario got us, you know, started, and then it just took off, and we decided to end up performing because we started out in Cape Cod at a place called Christine's in Cape Cod. That was a huge dinner place there. And we would do that every year, and it started with one show a year, and then it went to 2 shows a year, and then I think like 3 years later we were up to doing 16 shows a year.
Wow!
I mean, it just absolutely just went nuts. And then in Rhode Island, you know, we did the Stadium Theater and a ton of other places.
On the hill,
Right, and then of course Via Roma, you know.
Roma, second
exactly.
floor in
Oh my,
Roma,
I'll
right?
tell you, those were the best of times. Those were the best of times when Federal Hill was Federal Hill.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And the thing is, and we were right at the tail of it when it started going, you know, down.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I mean, you could not get a ticket upstairs to see us for weeks. I mean, it was just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, and it was just
That was Dominic's place. Right?
Dominic, yes, which
The Italian from Canada.
Yeah, thank you.
The Canadian
Absolutely.
Italian, right?
He learned all of his recipes from his mother.
Right.
You know, and I know the whole family, and they are just dear friends, and love them all. And that Via Roma was a landmark.
Yep.
You know, for years. You know, on the hill, the food was unbelievable.
Yep.
You know, but Massachusetts and Rhode Island, career-wise for us, has been very, very, very good.
In fact, you got a show coming up
Yes.
at White's.
Yes, we have one at White's of Westport,
Right.
which is a dinner and show, and we've been doing White's forever, but we had to give it a break because we were just not in the area. So that's going to be the 27th.
27th. Yeah.
And then on the 28th, we're up in Lawrence, Massachusetts, at a place called Salvatore's Riverwalk, which is on the water.
Right.
And then we go to New York, but we're also going to be at the Vets. And that's where we're really, in Rhode Island, that is our place now,
Yeah.
is the Vets, because, you know, it is just such a wonderful
It's a
place.
beautiful
place.
theater.
Yeah, exactly.
Comfortable, too.
Very,
Very
very, very comfortable. And the people that run it are just wonderful people. And just really, really great people.
Now, when is that?
That's going to be December the 3rd. And that's going to be a phenomenal holiday show.
Yeah.
We have a lot of great surprises. A lot of the stuff, there are things in the show that a lot of people have not seen.
Oh, that's
So,
good.
yeah, so it's going to be a really great time.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're really looking forward to that. And it's interesting because, you know, we were usually in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for months, but now because of our schedule, if we're lucky, we're maybe here once a year now.
Really?
Yeah. And the thing is and it's, you know, I would have never dreamt it, but we've really, the show has evolved so much that now, you know, we're in Texas, we're in Indiana, Louisiana, Ohio, Michigan, of course, California, Nevada,
Right.
Arizona. It's now, you know, just, you know, where, you know, 200 of those shows or more will be, you know, out of this area. You know, and really, you know, but we really wanted to, you know, as we're getting older, we really wanted to start opening up in places that we could never end up doing.
Right.
You know, we were supposed to do a show next year with Barbara Eden from I Dream of Jeannie.
Really?
Yeah. we were. Let me tell you, what a wonderful
I always loved her
lady.
in her younger years.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. And she still looks as young and beautiful.
Really?
And is as sharp as a tack. And we were just at her house a few months ago rehearsing for the show that was supposed to happen in 2000 or in 2020. And then
pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. Because we signed the contracts and got everything taken care of in 2019, and then of course out after that. So we decided to end up doing it in 2022, but the thing is she's 90 years old.
Cut it out.
She's 90 years old.
Wow.
And she just at this point does not feel comfortable in traveling a long distance.
Sure. Where does she live?
In Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so the thing is so that would have been an amazing show. A matter of fact, we were supposed to open up at the Vets.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and it would have been a phenomenal thing. And it was supposed to be her with Richard Chamberlain.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr.
Yep,
Chamberlain.
exactly. Yeah, Dr. Kildare.
Dr. Kildare. Dr.
Exactly.
Kildare.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. So unfortunately, COVID ruined that. But I'm in the process of being able to start doing a lot of celebrity shows where people come in and they sing and they tell stories and all that stuff. And so we're getting into a lot of producing of other celebrity shows.
Yeah.
Which has been just absolutely great.
Now, how do you decide on who you want to impersonate?
First of all, it has to come with the voice. The voice has to come first.
Right.
So if I am on researching voices, or I hear something on the radio and I start singing along and I can do it, or if I hear a great album or something like that, then I'll start working on the voice, like Andrea Bocelli.
How the heck do you do him?
Oh, I'll tell you, he's a very difficult voice to do because you can't fake Bocelli. You have got to be an opera, an opera singer,
right?
And be
soprano, or whatever.
and be able to make the people think that they are listening to an opera singer, let alone with all the gestures, the costuming,
to make you look
the
like
mannerisms,
them.
all that stuff. So it took me a while because it usually takes a year or two just to develop the character. So I had to go to voice lessons with an opera teacher. I had to learn Italian.
Cut it out.
And this is very interesting because when I started first doing Bocelli, it was in Federal Hill.
Wow.
And Dominic's sister is an Italian teacher.
Oh, wow.
And Italian is her first language.
Yep.
So she was there with a ruler,
Ready to whack you with?
You know what? She was whacking me all the time.
Oh,
going, no. It's
she a nun too, part-time?
You know what? Probably. And so I had the best teacher because we would go over so many songs. And she's like, no, it's this. It's not that. It's this. It's that. Plus, you're talking Federal Hill. Yep. If you get your Italian wrong when you're singing, you know what? These little Italian ladies, they're gonna let you know.
Oh yeah.
So that was really a great training ground for me in learning both Pavarotti and Bocelli.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it was a lot of work, in terms of going ahead and and making that happen. And now it's going over like gangbusters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's amazing. You got to learn Italian, and then you got to learn
You have to learn You have to learn the cadence, the Italian cadence, Okay, then
The
you've got
dialect,
to right, the dialect. It's like there was a song that I was learning for Luciano Pavarotti, and it was a different type of dialect, and Rosanna, explained that to me, and so it actually made sense, and I was able to to make it sound great because of the dialect that was in
Wow.
it. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
really is
yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's it's a lot of work.
Apparently.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And again, like you said, you take the deeper voices.
Right. And
your
Eddie
brother
does
takes
all the.
Eddie
Yes.
does the high voices.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah.
in Sonny and Cher, obviously he does
Right.
Cher.
Yeah, he does Cher. I do Sonny. Exactly. Yeah. 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 But when we were during COVID and we had some time off, we learned a few new characters. My brother learned Olivia Newton-John, and also I learned Tom Jones. I always
Really?
have done Tom Jones, but I never did the look
Right.
until recently, and that was a extinct challenge
Yes.
to be able to make that happen. And it took a lot because I had tried to do the look before and it didn't work.
Didn't work.
No, it didn't work. So I had to come back about 10 years later and revisit it.
Wow.
And now, oh my God, it's like people are going nuts. We just debuted it in Cape Cod, and people were going nuts. And then Olivia Newton-John, I also come out with Eddie, and I do the John Travolta part.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
I was in a
and-
movie with him.
Right. Okay. Wow. Oh my
Civil
God.
action. That
Yes.
was in Civil Action.
Okay. Wow. Wow. And how many years ago was that?
That would have been 1997, I
Okay.
think. Somewhere
Sure.
around
Okay.
there. 96,
So yeah.
97.
Okay. So that was probably a little after Face Off that he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly.
It was the movie about they were a Grace Company in Woburn, Mass. was polluting the water, and kids were coming down with
Yes.
leukemia.
Okay.
Yeah, it was and Travolta played the plaintiff's attorney for the families,
Wow.
and Robert Duvall played the lawyer for the company.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I remember that. He's a great actor.
What a-
Robert Duvall and John.
Yeah. John's the greatest guy I ever met.
Great.
He's the nicest person.
You know what?
I've ever
I've
met.
heard that about him. Everybody loves him. He's such a kind
Yes.
soul. Which is great because Eddie and I, we meet hundreds of celebrities. They come to see themselves impersonated. They come
yeah.
to the show, and we've been really blessed because all of them have just been just overlated, kind. A matter of fact, that's how Barbara wanted
Right,
to Barbara Eden.
Oh, Barbara Eden.
Barbara Eden wanted to do a show
Right.
because she had came to our show in Studio City at the famous Michael Feinstein's Vitello's
Right.
to see us, and she was with Lonnie Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and which she still looks amazing, and and I told her, when we were visiting backstage, I said, Barbara, I said, you should have your show, and she's like, well, why don't we end up doing something? And the rest was history.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't get Lonnie Anderson, though.
You know what? Lonnie wanted to do it, but we picked Barbara over Lonnie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yes. A matter of fact, Lonnie wants to work with us so bad, and that may end up turning into something.
Yeah.
I will tell you, just last weekend I met C. Thomas Howell, the actor. C. Thomas Howell.
Right.
He was in The Outsiders. I mean, he's a huge actor.
Yep.
The thing is we were talking, and he's putting a show together. So I was able to get him into a theater in L.A. So the thing is there's we have Eddie and I have our hands in a lot different things.
Sounds like it, yeah.
You know, and we love helping people out, you know, and getting them into venues, producing shows, to be able to, because, you know, when you've had the success that we've had, it's so great to be able to share that success with other people
Sure,
and
sure.
help them out and being able to, you know, get their shows started. I mean, that was the thing we wanted to do with Barbara Eden, because, you know, Barbara, hadn't done anything as far as music on stage for a long time, and we really wanted to bring that back.
Right,
Because, you know,
right.
she did all the variety shows.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, she did Dean Martin, Tom Jones,
Yep.
Glenn Campbell, I mean, all of them. And she has a great singing voice.
Plus, like you said, she's a beautiful woman.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, more so than you could ever imagine.
Well, I got a list of some of the people
Yeah.
you do.
Oh, good.
Or you and your brother
Yes.
do.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Barbara Streisand.
Yes.
That would be
That would be Eddie.
Eddie.
Eddie. Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Sonny
yeah,
and Cher.
Yeah.
You would be
Sonny
Sonny
and
and
Cher.
Cher,
Yep.
right?
Exactly. Yep.
Liza Minnelli.
Liza Minnelli. And it's so funny because about 2 years ago we were with Liza.
Really?
We were with Liza at Vitello's in Studio City, and when I tell you, she went nuts.
When she
over-
saw you-
I mean, she went absolutely
When
nuts.
she saw Eddie
yes,
impersonating her.
exactly. I mean, I mean, and she's the nicest woman. She absolutely looked gorgeous that night. She got up, she sang. It was, I mean, in the audience that night, okay, it was George Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
It was Mitzi Gaynor.
Yep.
It was Dick Van Dyke. I
Wow.
mean, it was Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis.
Wow.
It was Lily Tomlin. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and on. It was a night of stars.
And that was in Studio City.
Yeah, and I mean, how blessed are we to be able to be in the same room with these
Right.
people?
Well, again, like you said, you grew up with
Yeah, exactly.
so many
Yes,
stars
yes,
as kids.
yes. And Lily knew our Uncle Jack.
Oh, really?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Now, where was she from? I thought she was from the East Coast, wasn't she?
You know what? I don't know where Lily was from, but you know, her entire career was L.A.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and she really got started on George Slaughter was the one that gave her her break in Laughing.
Laughing,
As
exactly.
Ernestine Tomlin.
Exactly.
You know,
The,
yes, the operator.
Operator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also, I mean, there was a lot of people that got started. I mean, you know, Kurt Russell's wife got started on Laughing.
Yes, yes. What's her name?
Well, yeah.
The blonde.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I was just talking about. Oh my gosh! You know what? When you get to be our age,
yeah, tell me
we,
about it.
you know, Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn.
Yes.
Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
How about Billy Joe? That would be you. Right?
I have an interesting story about that. When Billy was with Maritime Music, his manager called me up
Right.
and said, "We know you do Billy and Elton. We're going to get you front row seats, and we want to play a joke on Elton. And we want you to dress up as Elton John, and we want you to hassle Elton all night long. Just be there and just smile at him."
Really?
And that's exactly what I did. And Billy was cutting Elton up for the entire time. And Elton took it so well.
Really?
And was so nice and so kind and pointed to me and bowed to me and all that stuff. It was just, I mean, when does that ever get to happen?
Right, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That is so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That is so cool. All right, we got Bette Midler.
Bette Midler, yes. And a matter of fact, Bette is here or she's in Providence, Rhode Island.
Really?
She's filming Hocus Pocus.
Oh, that's
Yes,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And Eddie was on the set, seeing it because him and Bette are friends, and I was told that a lot of the cast members are going to be there on December 3rd to see our show.
Oh, good.
So I'm hoping Bette gets a chance to come. I know we've also met Kathy Najimy. That's also, you know, and it's, you know, it's huge. It's absolutely, it's a huge production, and they're filming out in Rhode Island.
Yeah, they were filming in Lincoln. Now they're down in Newport,
Yeah,
I think.
exactly. And one of our best friends was supposed to do all the makeup and all that stuff, but
really?
he got called to London to do a movie out there. So, but I guess it's going well. And Eddie was having a great time on the set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool being on the set.
Yeah, yeah.
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton. Yeah, that's a new character for Eddie.
Eddie.
And when I tell you, he's been getting accolades from a lot of Dolly's friends on Facebook, saying one of the best characters that he does. I mean,
Really?
absolutely phenomenal. And it's been going over really, really, really well. Dolly's been in the show up until recently. Now, for our Christmas show, Eddie's doing Bette Midler. Because Bette has an album, a holiday album out, and all that stuff. But the thing is and he never thought he could end up doing Dolly.
Now, you do Neil Diamond?
I do Neil Diamond, and Neil was my first character I ever did.
Great singer.
Oh my God!
Great.
When I tell you,
I
love Neil
Yep.
more than life. And when we were on the Carnie Wilson show, when Carnie Wilson had her huge talk show in New York,
Right.
Neil saw me on her show.
Oh, yeah?
And I was singing live, and Neil thought that I was lip syncing. And
No kidding.
And when he found out I was not lip syncing, he wrote me such a great letter saying, the thing is, you tricked me. I thought that you were singing live. And when I tell you, I was blown away, because I thought if I could trick him,
Right, yeah,
you know what?
yeah, exactly.
I've certainly done my job.
No doubt about it.
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
exactly. And being the fact now that he's retired, he's not doing
Exactly.
shows anymore.
Well,
And
he was the
people
biggest. He was
huge,
doing
huge.
more acts than anybody
Yeah,
at one
exactly.
time.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly. You could not touch Neil. Neil was on fire. Plus all the hits and all that stuff. And I love doing him. I was going to do him in the holiday show, because
Right.
I usually do, but Elton John is so huge now,
Right.
and she has that big song by Dua Lipa, which has been playing everywhere. We're doing that in the Vets show, so that's going to be huge. And people love Elton John. And I do him from the three eras. I do him from the 70s,
Right.
the 80s, and the way he looks now. And it's very challenging, because I have to do it all in just so many minutes.
I was going to say that. How do you make the
Yeah,
changes?
yeah, it's
the
very
costume changes.
Yeah, costume changes and everything, and wigs and
Now tell
yeah,
me that. All right, so you do them in one era.
Yeah.
And then what do you?
And
go
then
backstage?
right before the audience, while the audience are watching, I transform myself,
Cut it out.
and people, they go nuts. They are so fascinated.
I'm
with
fascinated now. You're just
seeing
hearing
that.
you
Yes,
talking about
and it's so funny, because when I rehearsed the number, I would go backstage, and I asked the director that saw the show, "What do you think of that?" She was like, "Well, I love the Elton John thing, but you know what? It isn't working. I mean, you're losing the audience when you go backstage." She said, "Why don't you change on stage?" And I'm like, that's an excellent idea. Let me try it. So the next show, which was a nighttime show, I tried it. They went nuts.
Now, all right, you change costumes too?
Yes. Costumes, wigs, glasses, everything, right on stage. But I do it so quickly.
That's got to be interesting. to
Yes,
see.
very, very interesting. People love surprises.
Yeah.
People
I
love
want to see the show, and that's
surprises.
one of the reasons now I want to see the show.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. We also do duets that have never been done. We do a duet in our regular show, the prayer, which she did, which Andrea did
Who's
with
this?
Andrea Bocelli
Right.
and Celine Dion. I'm sure you've heard it a million
Right,
times.
yep.
But we do it with Barbra Streisand, Barbara and Andrea, and that's never been done. See, that's the great thing about doing, characters, is we can do duets
Right, yeah.
that have never been done.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, who did Barbara Streisand? Didn't Barbara Streisand do a duet with one of the Bee Gees?
Yes, Barry Gibb.
No, not Barry.
Yeah, it was Barry.
It was
Yeah,
Barry?
yeah. Not just a duet, but she did a whole album
Okay.
with Barry, and they're very, very close. And Barry has produced some of her albums as well.
Really?
Yeah.
My favorite group,
Oh,
the Bee Gees.
I love the Bee Gees. And talking about that, our show is always evolving.
Sure.
So now, it used to be you got a little bit, for those that are familiar with Vegas, you got Lacage, you got Legends in Concert, you got Rich Little, you got Danny Gans, and now you have Terry Fader all in one show.
Terry
And
Fader,
that's what
I
we're doing.
interviewed him,
Yes,
Terry Fader.
exactly, yes. Very talented guy.
Oh my God!
Love him.
He won the first America's Got Talent show.
Absolutely, yep.
I had
And-
dinner
and-
with
and-
him the night we were down in Newport with Joe Rocco. After the show, I had dinner with him. He was on his way to go. He just won.
Yeah.
And he was on his way to part of the gig. He won $1 million
Yeah.
plus a shot at Vegas.
Yes, exactly,
And
yeah.
then he signed for $8 million a year.
Yeah, let me tell you, and he's worth every dime.
Oh,
he's
he's
so
phenomenal.
talented.
Yep.
So
He does Roy Orbison as good as Roy Orbison.
thank you, exactly. Yeah, I mean, just and
With a turtle.
thank you, exactly. His he writes his material. I mean, it's just great. It's just great. He's so talented. I remember the first time I saw him at the Old International in Vegas, which is now another name, but before that it was the Hilton. And I was so amazed. I thought that this guy really has so much talent. Anyways, I hired Jim Henson's assistant to build all my puppets now. And now we have a section in the show where I do puppets, and I just completed the Bee Gees.
No kidding.
And when I tell you, it is
And folks,
absolutely amazing.
we didn't rehearse this.
No.
I didn't.
No, and it is going to take the country by storm because it's never been done. Yeah,
I love and the only one left is Barry.
I know.
The only one left.
That's what blows me away because he's the oldest.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I knocked on his door in Florida.
Okay.
He was living there with his brother, Maurice.
Maurice. Yes.
And I was such a big fan, I found out where he lived.
Yes.
And I banged on his door. He answered his door, too.
Oh my God,
He came to the
great.
door.
Oh my God, that's great.
I just had the guts to do it,
Yes. Yeah. Good. I'm telling you, good for you. I would have done it because that's one person I've not met that I would love to meet.
Right, yeah.
And he does seem like a very, very, very kind man.
Very nice guy.
Yes.
I saw him live in person. I saw them in Toronto, actually.
Okay. Wow.
I saw him in Providence.
Yep.
And I went up to see him in Toronto.
And you know what? He still has it.
Oh,
yeah. And he just came out with. A matter of fact, they're doing 3 albums where he is doing duets with other people.
Right. Yes, I heard that.
Yeah, exactly. And I've listened to some music. It's great, and he sounds great.
Got a beautiful voice.
Yes.
He does that song Words.
Words.
That's
One of my
phenomenal.
favorite.
No music.
Right.
And then they when he gets into it, he's got the whole in this case when he's in Rhode Island, he has the whole Rhode Island Philharmonics behind him.
Yes.
It's just such a production. It was
Yeah.
such a beautiful production.
Yeah. Just great. And I absolutely love it. And you know what? They really got a bad rap for a while. I was there's a documentary you have to watch on HBO.
I've seen it.
Yeah, isn't that phenomenal?
Bee
One of
Gees.
my favorite documentaries. How
I
to
have it
Mend
taped.
a Broken Heart.
Yep.
Yeah, one of my all-time favorite
Absolutely.
documentaries. Yep, exactly. Just amazing.
People don't realize not only did they have the best 3-part harmony ever,
Yeah.
but they wrote music for a lot of other groups.
Oh, I know it, exactly, including Dionne Warwick.
Yep.
I mean, of course, the story of Dolly and Kenny Islands in the Stream.
In the Stream, yep.
Yeah, exactly, just phenomenal, phenomenal. But they really got a bad rap for a very, very long
Well, they
time.
also came out at the same time the Beatles came out. So that kind of affected
Right,
them, put them in
exactly,
the
yes.
backstage for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought they were more talented than the Beatles.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You know, they just, and how they were able to come up with the high voices accidentally.
Really?
That's the thing. Yeah, it was something that they had never done in their early career.
Right.
It wasn't until a little bit before Saturday Night Fever is that the producer was like, "Can you bring this up an octave?" And you know, and Robin was like, "No," and Maurice was like, "I don't think so," and Barry was like, "I'll give it a shot."
Try it. Yeah.
And that's what made their sound.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he could bring it up.
Ah,
too.
yes.
He could
And
bring it up.
it revolutionized them.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
No, they were phenomenal.
yeah.
I have every one of their albums.
Yeah, exactly.
All of their albums.
Just
Engelbert and Humperdinck.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Eddie met Engelbert. They were both honored at a thing in Vegas, and I do Engelbert.
I know.
In the show. You just really, I mean, the hits that Engelbert had, and people love him still.
Right.
When I break into Engelbert Humperdinck, people go absolutely nuts. And I think a lot of it because a lot of people, you know, they forget the great songs
Yep.
of Engelbert. And the thing is, and you know, he's one of those voices you can't fake.
Right.
You know what? You've got to, you know, end up, you know, going full power because of, you know, of his songs. And you know, and he's, you know, and it's very interesting how Tom Jones and Engelbert.
I was just going to say
yeah,
that.
exactly.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, have
Very similar.
this very similar.
Now, are they both Welsh?
voices.
I know Tom Jones is Welsh.
Yeah, yeah. You know
Engelbert-
what? I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
It wouldn't.
He's either from England or from
yes. Yes.
Welsh,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Wales. What am I
Yeah.
saying?
Wales. Exactly. Yeah. That's another one. Tom Jones. I mean, he's had an amazing career, and he still sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, see, that's what we offer in our show. We offer, I mean, there are 14-year-old kids that come to our show. And it baffles me that they would know these
Right.
celebrities.
Right.
But they know them all.
Well, they know them from their mothers. They know
Yeah,
'em
that's
from
right.
their
From
grandmothers,
their
they know
grandmothers,
everybody.
absolutely.
Absolutely, yep,
Absolutely, yeah.
yep.
I mean, I'm always so concerned when kids come to see it, you know, them being bored. I've not heard one kid that's ever come to see our show that is not mesmerized
Right. Yeah.
by it.
Well, it's such a variety too
Yeah,
that
right.
you give
exactly.
them.
Yeah, yeah.
such a
I mean, if
variety.
you don't like someone, you know, blink and they'll be gone.
somebody else, Lady Gaga's coming up, right?
That's it.
That's your brother.
Exactly. We did Lady Gaga, I think the last time in Singapore, and it was, I mean, people just went nuts. People just
Really?
went nuts. Yes. Yep. And Eddie has worked on it where now he does a thing at the piano where he plays piano and sings as Lady Gaga. Yeah.
How about Michael Jackson? He must do Michael Jackson too.
You know what? That's one character we don't do.
Oh, you don't do Michael?
No, we do not. I would love to because I love his music.
Right.
But I have to say, the people that we do in our show are spot on. And if it's not
Right.
100%,
You don't do it.
we won't do it.
Right. Well,
No.
that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey?
Don't do her, but that's one that would be.
Now, how come I end up with her on my list?
Yeah,
How did I end up with her on my list? How did I end up with her on
Let me
my
tell you,
list? What happened here?
She is a good star to be able to, and who knows, maybe Eddie will be the next.
Tina Turner.
Oh yes, now I do Tina Turner
Cut it
in
out.
the show. Yes, I do Tina Turner, and I use
With the skirt?
No, I use a Muppet
Oh, really?
that is with this new Terry Fader.
Right,
thing
Terry
going.
Fader thing.
People love it.
Yeah.
They absolutely love it. I mean, how can you go wrong with Tina Turner? Yeah, exactly.
What song do you do?
I do Private Dancer, but I also do Proud Mary.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah, of course, exactly. But people really like that really deep Tina Turner voice, and Proud Mary. I mean, she's known for Proud Mary, but
Right.
but she's also known for private dancer too.
Now, she lives in what, Switzerland or something?
Switzerland, yeah, yeah. And that was another, did you see that?
I did.
Documentary?
I did.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That was a surprise to find out she lives in Switzerland.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the one thing about Tina, which is great, when she said she was going to retire, that was it. That was it. She did not come back.
Right. Yeah. Well, she got far enough away, so she didn't have to listen to him.
Absolutely, yeah. And she still looks great.
She does.
Yeah.
She does.
She can still roll down the river.
Now, did I miss anybody? Did I?
Oh yeah, you
Wait a minute.
missed.
Stevie Nicks?
No.
Nope, not Stevie Nicks.
Let me
think.
see here.
Let me think.
Okay, so with me, Frankie Valli.
Oh.
Yes, I do for
Of the Four Seasons, Frankie Valli of the Four Seasons fame.
Exactly. And I was doing Frankie Valli in New Jersey.
Oh, that's a great place. Isn't it?
Yeah. About two years ago, the producer, the main producer, Frankie Valli's right-hand man was there. I was scared to death because I thought to myself, oh my God, he's going to rip me to shreds.
Yep.
Because he's had the best. And he came up to me, and this guy is not a person to give compliments. And he said, young man, he said, I want to tell you, I've heard them all. I've worked with them all. I've hired them all, and I've fired them all. He said, your sound for the era that you're doing, because I do him from his solo career. Okay. I don't do him from the Four Seasons. I do him from the solo career.
Right.
He said, you're the closest sounding Frankie Valli I have ever heard. And I almost fell over backwards. Because this guy
what a
does
hell of a
not.
compliment that
Oh,
is.
I'll tell you, this was a producer of the Jersey Boys.
Wow. Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, that's like we're talking about compliments. You know the best compliment I ever got?
No, what?
Like, again, I told you, I'm approaching my 30th year on TV.
Yes, oh my God.
The best compliment I ever got.
Yeah.
They come in here, the Providence Journal. They
Yeah.
had a reporter here for 3 shows over a 2-week period. And then they wrote the Sunday newspaper that opens up like this at the parade.
Yes.
They did a 10-page spread on me. On the cover, I was even in the centerfold. Hey, you're looking at the centerfold. And on the cover, it had a picture of me sitting there. I had a different desk.
Yeah.
Sitting behind a desk, and I'm like this, looking at the camera, and it said, here's Bob, the Johnny Carson of cable television.
I love that. That's a compliment. That's
That was
a compliment.
the ultimate compliment to
Listen,
me.
there was a reporter that worked for the Providence Journal for years, and they did so many great stories on us.
Yeah.
And just, really, I mean, that's another thing. We've been blessed with so many, quotes from the Boston Globe, People Magazine, USA Today.
Wow.
I can go on and on and on. I mean, this is just, it's like, the LA Times,
You can't do better than that.
No,
Can't do better than that.
exactly, yeah.
You know that you have just spent an hour with Bob?
You know what? I had no idea. I mean, time flies when you're with Bob.
Well, thank you for stopping
Thank you.
by.
Listen, it's my pleasure.
When are you going? 27th of November?
Yeah, actually 27th of November at White's of Westport. And then we're sold out on the 28th in Lawrence. But then we also have the Vets, which
In
is
Providence.
in Providence. And
That's what, the 3rd?
that's the 3rd. And our benefits are going to the Tomorrow Fund.
Oh, that's nice.
Exactly. Yeah, we're giving a portion of the proceeds to Tomorrow Fund because they're such a great organization.
Well, thank you again for stopping by, and I will see you on the 27th.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you.
And folks, thank you for spending an hour with Bob.